No. Shoot.
It's kind of starting to deteriorate a little bit.
There's a big glob right here.
Things did not go as planned yesterday. That's why you just saw a little bit. I guess I'll just say, don't believe everything you see or read on the internet. Unless, of course, it's this video. You can believe me because I'm trustworthy. Good morning. This is not the video that I was going to make. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but this is not the video that I was going to make, and this is not the video that was supposed to come out today when it's coming out. But alas, it is what it is. So you might notice the floors, they kind of look clean, a little bit cleaner than before. You guys were supposed to see this, but this turned out terrible. So I had said last video that we were going to be diamond grinding our floors, and we did. We went and got the diamond grinder, and I started in the office here. The diamond grinder that they had, it was not the one that I thought it was, and it did not do a good job. We hate the look of it. So it doesn't get, you can see how far away from the edges it is and how bad that would be. That we would maybe have to use a grinder or something to get that close. Not the ones that I've seen before that get pretty close to the wall. So, like I said, we just did the office. We stopped right there at the doorway. It is what it is. We can't go back now. It's an office. It is what it is. If we don't like the look, we can always tint this floor after. But we decided to forego diamond grinding everything else, just because of that, how it doesn't get super close to the edge and how we don't like the look. So we spent the last couple days installing all of our lights. I wired up all the lights in the attic and the switches and the outlets. Those are done. We mopped this floor a few times. We scraped all the paint around the edges that we thought the diamond grinder was gonna get. My father-in-law installed all of our Ethernet ports on the wall. He did all the IT stuff. That's all done. And we're ready to move on to epoxy on the floors. So that's what we're gonna work on today. And we're just gonna keep moving forward. So I need to mop this whole floor with acetone first to get any little paint, any gunk, whatever. It's gonna give us a clean surface. I'm not gonna start that first thing this morning and wait a couple hours, because that epoxy that we got, you need to put the second coat on within 16 to 24 hours. So it's 7:30 right now. So I don't wanna have to be out here at 5:30 tomorrow to do the second coat. So probably wait till this afternoon to do the first coat of epoxy, like 1 o'clock maybe. That then tomorrow morning, we can start the second coat of epoxy. So I'm gonna wait till mid-morning to do the acetone. So I'll see you guys when I do that. Enough rambling, we'll get started. Acetone, epoxy, this video, floors will be done.
All right, so we got our epoxy mixed up. It's 2 parts epoxy and 1 part hardener. This is 3 gallons, and I'm hoping I only need 6 gallons to do the first coat. It's just gonna be kind of like a sealer coat to seal it in, and then the next coat will be a little bit thicker. So I'm just gonna dump it on, use a squeegee, move it around, and then we're gonna back roll it with a roller, and then use a foam roller to get into the corner. So we'll see how this goes. Probably should have not done that, because now I can't get through the corners.
Hard to find good help. them?
No. Not make it look easy.
I'm gonna go over a couple of areas twice. I'm going over a couple of areas twice, but it's pretty quick.
Should self-level too, so.
Yeah. Roll it all the time.
When was that even started?
You did the pantry?
Yeah. I'll get you a workout. If you're ready to start cutting down trees and moving.
How much am I getting paid for this?
Huh?
Am I getting paid to do this?
Once the YouTube money comes in.
Sounds like never.
Yep. Real sticky.
Do you have another one of these rollers?
No. Shoot.
It's starting to deteriorate a little bit.
There's a big glob right here. All right, well, we ran into a bit of an issue. We mixed up the second coat a little bit, or the second bucket a little bit too early, and it's starting to harden on us. So unfortunately, we got to deal with those swirl marks there. It is what it is. Can't change it now. And there's a little bit in the bathroom too. And then you can see where you stopped. Unfortunately, when you're pouring it out, you can kind of see where it's drying at different rates, which is weird because this here dried at different rates, and the transition was perfect. So hopefully that'll all even out and blend together. But we got the first coat done, so now we wait 16 hours. I think we'll do it tomorrow morning. I know what time it is. It's 3:15 now, so 7 o'clock. We should be able to start early tomorrow morning. We should be able to start by 8 o'clock, 8:30 tomorrow morning. Get this knocked out. We'll wait 24 hours. It looks like crap in here. We may tint this
I may or may not tint this floor. I have some black tint that I used previously for woodworking that I may see how it looks. And I may use that to tint that floor in there to kind of hide that stuff. But I do have a little bit of leftover epoxy. So what I might do is go get that right now, see how that looks, and then we'll see you guys tomorrow. Good morning. Look at it, the shine. I can walk around in here. It's dry. I'm in socks because I don't want to get footprints or any dirt on here before we put the second coat on. But I came out here this morning to check it. It looks good. I did find my epoxy tint, and we are going to tint it a little bit. I have some black, just straight black, and then like a metallic. So we're going to do a little bit of the straight and a little bit of the metallic. We don't want to completely cover the concrete, so it's just going to be the faintest little bit of tint, but that should blend everything that we need, because I poured that up yesterday and it was good. So this spot here where we ran into that issue looks like crap. It didn't roll out smooth. It's a little bit rough, but we're just going to pour over the top. And then once we get in, I can come back and fix that. What I'm gonna do is I'll kind of tape everything off. I'll build a barrier so that Leah can't get in, and I'll hook my sander and a vacuum up, and I'll sand it down through the grits. Start at like 60 grit, 60, 80, 120, 150, get it all the way up. Actually, no, that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sand it down with 60 grit and get it up, and then I'll kind of polish it to blend it in through the grits, like where the line is. So 60, 80, 120. Then I'll go through the grits all the way up to 1,000, whatever I need to go to get it a nice smooth transition out. But, and if I have to, I'll re-pour over the top. So, that might have been confusing, and sorry, I'm confusing myself. It's still early yet, but that'll be fine. Everywhere else looks good. So, we're gonna wait maybe another hour, hour and a half. I got some stuff to clean up in the garage. Some of our mess from yesterday that was all full of epoxy. So we'll get that cleaned up, and then we'll come out here and pour, get the second coat on, and then we'll wait. 24 hours, they say you can move in and do stuff. I think we're gonna wait 48 hours. We'll take tomorrow off, not do anything in here, because I got some other stuff to do. And then the next day we can pick up and start going again. Good morning. Well, it's a chilly one this morning, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So, things did not go as planned yesterday. That's why you just saw a little bit. I guess I'll just say, don't believe everything you see or read on the internet. Unless, of course, it's this video. You can believe me because I'm trustworthy. Anyway, the office, we did. This little closet, we did. And the kids' bath, we did. The problem we ran into is the directions on the epoxy say you do your skim coat or whatever it's called, your seal coat. I think it's called a seal coat. They say you could do it a little bit thicker, but you basically just need to seal in the concrete, which is what we did. And then you do your float coat, which is the second coat, which is what we were working on yesterday. And that's supposed to be 10 mils thick, minimum. You could go maximum of 20 mils, they say. So 10 mils is about 3/8 of an inch. 20 would be 3/4 of an inch. What I saw online is the quantities that people used for our square footage, and it was multiple people saying that. They're totally wrong. So I don't know if it's the squeegees they used or what, but we use this trowel thing, and you can see how it's got those little grooves on it. Excuse the wood on it. It was resting on a piece of plywood out there. So that's what we were using that skims the epoxy around to get a nice even coat, and then it's self-leveling. So if you use a regular epoxy, you're just kind of skimming it all off. We could do that the first time, but when you do it with epoxy already on there, it just basically pulls it all off. So that's why you have to use the serrated one. I think the stuff that I've seen and read that's different, and the other stuff that people did, is their serrated edges are nowhere close to 10 mils that it needs to be, which is why they use so much less epoxy. So, needless to say, the rest of it's not done. It looks good right there. It looks like ice skating rink. The color looks good. In the office is good. There's a few air bubbles. It is what it is. We like that color, that tint color, but we don't have nearly enough epoxy. So in the office alone, I used 4 gallons, and we only bought 9 gallons for each coat. Actually, no, 12 gallons for the second coat, 6 gallons for the first coat. So we don't have nearly enough to do the whole house. So like I said, we had 2 kits. They're 3-gallon kits. We used 2 kits. I used about 1.5 in the office. That's why I did that little closet, and then I did the kids' bathroom. We're just gonna have to wait on everything else because we only have 1 kit left, and there was no point in starting and not being able to finish. So, as I said, don't believe everything you read on the internet. It's not a huge deal. What we're gonna do, we're gonna keep moving on. I can't waste a week or more waiting for new epoxy to come in because we're in crunch time. So we're gonna move in. What we'll do in the future is I'll get a sander, not the grinder that we had, just a floor sander. We'll sand everything, we'll move everything out, we'll sand everything, and then we'll put the epoxy on in the future. We can stay at a hotel for a night, or we'll go on a little vacation or something in the future. At that time, it's not a huge deal. Cabinets can be in and all that stuff. So that's the plan for that. Today though, I know I'm probably rambling here, and it's a lot of me talking, but instead of leaving this note or this video on a bad note, we're gonna move all of our kitchen cabinets in. We're gonna lay it all out here and show you guys the layout of our cabinets. So we'll have to move them when I go back to install them. We'll just move them a little bit, but we're gonna put all the cabinets in. We're gonna get all the doors in, not installed, but moved in so that we can install them. And we're just gonna keep plugging along. So once my help gets here, we'll start moving cabinets in. All right, she's in. All the lowers at least. We haven't done, what'd you make? One upper so far?
One upper.
That goes above the, so we'll have uppers above the fridge. What we will eventually do, I don't know if we've said it before, is our uppers will go all the way to the ceiling. We'll do the upper pieces, and what's the top called?
They're called stackers, so it's
Stackers.
just a smaller.
Crooked. So it'd basically be like 2 uppers. The stacker ones, we won't really store anything in, but we'll put them up. We didn't order those yet because of space, and they don't come with glass. We'd have to get glass. So we'll get the glass before we install them, and we figure it's just, we don't have time to do all that right now. So we didn't want to order them and have to store them and worry about them getting damaged and all that jazz. So we'll just order them when it's time. It doesn't really affect anything because I think there's, what was there, 3 or 4 inches between the stacker and the ceiling, because there's like a molding up there. So we'll have plenty of space. But anyway, this is our layout. Island is slightly off, as you can see, because of the pipes we got to drill through. So it's not perfectly straight, and it does need to move over 2 inches, 3 inches.
Yeah.
So it's gonna line up with that over there, so you can see how the island's kind of off. But I gotta move all these to install them anyway, so it's close enough. So big island, cabinets on both sides, dish cabinet, dishwasher, sink, dishwasher cabinet, cabinets over there. We'll have our 2 refrigerators here, and yeah, and then we'll custom build in the pantry and all that jazz. But that's our kitchen layout, and I was worried that this was going to be small, but now putting this in there, I think it puts this into perspective that it's a decent size. So you happy with it?
I am. Our countertops too, they hang over the edge, so we'll have some seating.
Yeah, what did we say? Was it 14 inches?
14 inches, yeah.
So these will be like, these doors here will be 14 inches underneath the edge of the counter. So
Yeah.
that should look pretty good. One thing that I'm not happy with, Tina said that she's not unhappy with it, she was just surprised by it, is this right here. So on the shelves here, they don't go all the way, which is
The depth of the entire cabinet, they're half the size.
which
Half
is
the
a
depth.
total shocker. I was expecting them to be full, but it's not a huge deal. We don't have that much stuff to like
It's
put
only
store under there.
2 of the base cabinets too, so
Yeah.
we can make it work because we still
Yeah.
have tons of storage. So.
It's this one here and that one in the corner, because that one's all drawers, that one's drawers, that one's drawers. That one's a trash, which is a drawer, and then drawer, drawer, and then door for the sink, but that's fine. That wouldn't have a shelf there anyway because of plumbing. So yeah, that is our kitchen, I guess, and our somewhat completed epoxy floors. Completed enough to get us moved in, and then we'll complete in the future. I don't know if I think I mentioned it before. I'm gonna have to build a custom platform base for these ones to get them to sit level with the other side, but that's not that difficult. So anyway, that's where we're gonna leave this video. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you on the next video.
Bye.
Oh, we also moved our doors in. You'll see that soon.